Right, it's time for business. Emmanuel of YGF is here. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hi, Izzy. How is it?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
Right. Fine, thank you.
Okay, you take care.
All right, hello. Good evening. Welcome to business. All members of the Ghana Hotels Association have been instructed to stop quoting prices in foreign currencies. President of the association, Dr. Edward Akanyameke Jr., in an exclusive interview with Joy Business, revealed that the association had written to the governor of the Bank of Ghana over some concerns raised by the central bank with regards to charging in other foreign currencies. There's more in this report.
According to the president of the Hotels Association, all members have been briefed on the instruction to now quote prices of services in cedis. He tells Joy Business any hotel that quotes in dollars will be flouting the law.
So does it mean if I'm to walk into any 4-star, 5-star hotel today, I'm going to be seeing quotations in cedis?
I want to believe so. I want to believe so.
This is something you have, a message.
We met all the big hotels. You can name them, from Kempinski to Movenpick to Holiday Inn. Marriott, we met all of them. We all came to that conclusion. I want to believe that our members or the hotel players, the hoteliers are charging or quoting in cedis. I want to believe so. If anybody's quoting dollars, it's infringing on the laws, and we don't want our members to infringe on the laws.
All right.
You see, and that's what saddens my heart, because we have written to the Bank of Ghana drawing the attention to our readiness to obey the law on that score of quoting in cedis.
But there seems to be some disconnect on this topic, as Tourism Minister Barbara Otinjesi says her outfit finds no fault with hotels quoting prices in dollars, as this strategy is aimed at cushioning themselves against the cedi's fluctuation. The Bank of Ghana has warned against companies quoted in dollars, as this flouts the country's forex regulations. However, the tourism minister has a different opinion.
I believe that the hotels' rates are dollar rated, but the payments are made in cedis because they want to currency fluctuations, so they need to ensure that they are getting value for the rates. That's why I guess it's dollar denominated, but enforcement of that regime is not within my capacity. But as long as we are paying the cedi equivalent, I think that it shouldn't really be an issue.
According to the Bank of Ghana, persons found to have violated its directive would face summary conviction, a fine of up to 700 penalty units, or a prison term of not more than 18 months. This move from the Bank of Ghana is expected to tackle the surging dollarization of the economy and also help check the persistent depreciation of the cedi.
Our government has been urged to make available affordable smartphones and digital innovations to enhance financial service delivery. Senior Director for Research and Policy Advisory Services at the Africa Center for Economic Transformation, ACET, Dr. Edward Brown, says this is crucial for the financial inclusion agenda, especially within rural communities. Dr. Edward Brown spoke to Joy Business at the ACET Policy Learning event on financial inclusion for women and youth in sub-Saharan Africa. Sheila Tamaklu reports.
Highlights of a report carried out in 3 African countries, Zambia, Sierra Leone and Guinea, indicated that cumbersome requirements, poor rural infrastructure, weak operating model by banks, cultural and social norms, as well as poor digital infrastructure, among others, were key hindrances to improving financial inclusion among women and the youth in sub-Saharan Africa. For instance, a report by the World Bank revealed that although financial inclusion in Ghana stood at 58%, the composition is made up of 54% women, as against the majority of 58% of men. But speaking to Joy Business, Project's technical lead for the African Center for Economic Transformation, David Dakwa, said there's a huge opportunity for institutions to exploit digitization to expand financial service delivery, especially in rural communities.
One main finding was that the mobile phone has become very important. It's an important tool that can be used to deliver financial services. It's an important delivery channel. We found that in all 3 markets, mobile phone ownership and access has increased. Also, smartphone access has increased considerably. And so it's an important area primarily for developing markets like ours that have a lot of physical infrastructure barriers where You don't have banks willing to serve rural markets. Mobile phones provide that way for us to escape or jump over some of these hurdles.
Senior Director for Research and Policy Advisory Services added governments must incentivize the private sector to lead the digital transformation which is necessary for facilitating delivery of financial services.
The majority of the most vulnerable groups are in the rural areas, and access to financial inclusion in the rural areas is much weaker than in the urban areas. And this is where public policy and regulations are critical in order to create the right incentives and environment to attract private sector actors into the rural areas. You know, the brick and mortar type of banking is already beginning to become a dead issue. It's a dinosaur. And we need to look at digital revolution that is helping to increase access to financial inclusion in the areas. But one of the critical issues where the state can play a critical role is in the financial infrastructure, the digital infrastructure as well as the fiscal infrastructure. And then on the digital revolution and the digital technologies, the whole issue of smartphones. You know, up till now, there's still a lot of people are using feature phones that do not offer enough capability to be able to really operate within the mobile banking system. So with smartphones, it's going to be easy. And how you do that is what public policy needs to inform.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklo reporting.
And in other news, the lack of understanding of the country's tax laws has been partly blamed for the inability of government to meet its revenue targets. The Ghana Revenue Authority is being urged to intensify education for the public to know what it means to be tax compliant. President of the Private Enterprise Federation, Nana Bonsu, made the call at a national validation meeting on tax reforms for domestic, medium, small and micro enterprises in Accra. Here's a report by Ebenezer Sabuti.
Business by law, once you make money.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has not been able to meet its revenue targets consistently, especially on the domestic front. According to a survey by the Private Enterprise Federation, about 79% of micro, small, medium enterprises have no knowledge about the country's tax laws. In an interview with Joy Business, after presenting results of the survey, Chief Executive of the Federation, Nana Bonsu, advocates a review of the law to enable small businesses to better appreciate them.
It's not fair for us to have the 25% across board for all corporate taxes that everybody has to pay.
So you think that side should be reviewed?
We think all laws should be reviewed so far as applicable to taxes, because from the revelations of this research, you see that there are a lot of actions that need to be taken, a lot of education that have to be put in place, and a lot of sensitization, and to me, even helping the private sector. You know, we have under the new Ministry of Trade, we have business advisory centers. Those should be empowered with capacity to train our businessmen as to their obligation under tax law.
He also disputed claims that some businesses are deliberately evading taxes, a situation which is said to cause significant revenue shortfalls to the country.
Obviously, the targets, there need to be a lot more education. There need to be engagement of the various private sector players to bring about the point that they also honor their obligation. Let me say this categorically. Sometimes the misconception is that private sector people want to duck their taxes. That's not true. From this exercise, they want to comply, but if they don't know, they don't understand the language, and it costs them money to be in compliance, nobody in their right mind would do that. So as much as we can do the sensitization, as much as we can do the education, as much as we can help them to do the assessment, we should see a future, a better future of private sector tax payments or compliance going forward.
The program was also used as a platform to sensitize some businesses about the need to clear their taxes at the end of every year. Ibn Sabote's report for Joy Business.
And that's all in business for now. I'll bring you more business after 8 p.m.